This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. Unless you're one of those super fans who watches everything that I do, this might be the last time you have to hear me ask to subscribe to the channel to help me get to 500,000 subscribers. I'm within 1,500 subs of 500,000, and it's only with your help. So check to see if you're subscribed. Sometimes people think they're subscribed because they watch me all the time, but they're not actually subscribed. So check to see if you're subscribed, and if you're feeling in a generous mood, subscribe to the channel and help me get there. Thank you very much. Let's talk about the difference between how Republicans act and how they behave. The things that they say and proclaim to hold dear, and then how they actually act. Because a lot of these Republicans, especially the real rabid Trump fans, they talk about pulling yourself up by your bootstrap. They talk about rugged individualism, and then they cannot get their body quick enough under the boot of Donald Trump, or they can't get their mouth and their tongue onto the boot of Donald Trump quick enough. There is sycophancy involved. There is bootlicking. There is brown nosing. There is yes men. There is just desperation on the tip of the tongue of every Republican who loves Donald Trump. And apparently that includes Megyn Kelly, who has every reason in the world to know who Donald Trump is, and yet the grift is like a tractor beam, just sucking her in. The other day on her little YouTube program, apparently the $60 million payout from NBC wasn't enough to keep her out of the spotlight. She took to her program and just heaped effusive praise on Donald Trump, declaring that all of that nonsense is behind us, and then went into this weird diatribe about how he is, I'm paraphrasing, but like godlike. Like he enters a room and every eye just has to focus on Donald Trump because he's so powerful and just commands the room. It's just gross. So I got 3 clips here. One is this moment, and then I want to remind everybody who it is that she's defending, who it is that she's now in the tank for, presumably like a campaign surrogate, singing and wailing the praises of Donald Trump. First, this moment from her show the other day. Watch this.
Have a private audience with former President Donald Trump. When he came into the arena, we met just one-on-one. And, there were his team was standing nearby, but he and I got a one-on-one together for the first time in years. And it was frankly great to see him. All that nonsense between us is under the bridge. And he could not have been more magnanimous. It's just, the thing about Trump is he commands the room. He walks in, and it's not just because he's a former president now, because I knew him before that. There's just something about him. It's like an aura that sort of takes over the room. There's only one person you can look at. I remember when he was doing Celebrity Apprentice, and Geraldo was on it, and John Rich was on it, and John Rich, I think it was, invited me to an event for Celebrity Apprentice, and you went there, and same thing. Trump walks in, like the whole room turns. It's Donald Trump. Well, even more so now. He could not have been nicer or more generous, and had some interesting thoughts about the debates, whether he's going to attend. I wouldn't bet on it. I would not bet on him attending at least that first Fox News debate. If I had to put money on it, it's Trump, so he could change his mind. But that was my feeling in having talked to him, though I didn't commit one way or the other. And
all of that nonsense, we'll get to what the nonsense was. But isn't this just disgusting? There's no dignity. This is no self-respect on the part of Megyn Kelly with her Carrie Lake Jr. filter on there. Donald Trump commands a room. He has an aura about him. The only one person that you can look at in the room when he enters is Donald Trump. I can't imagine saying this about anybody. This is bizarre, worshipful behavior from someone who absolutely, without a doubt, knows better. This is the man that all the nonsense that she's talking about is under the bridge, who demeaned her on a global scale, on a global stage. She asked legitimate questions about Donald Trump's treatment of women, calling them pigs, disgusting animals, and slobs. And then he proceeded to go on with Don Lemon and say that she must have been on her period, and that's why she was asking such questions of him. Let's remind you who she's defending here, the things she's forgetting, presumably, about Donald Trump. Here's that moment from the debate back in 2015, 2016.
Mr. Trump, one of the things people love about you is you speak your mind and you don't use a politician's filter. However, that is not without its downsides, in particular when it comes to women. You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account...
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
No, it wasn't. Your Twitter account...
Thank you.
For the record, it was well beyond Rosie O'Donnell.
Yes, I'm sure it was.
Your Twitter account has several disparaging comments about women's looks. You once told a contestant on Celebrity Apprentice it would be a pretty picture to see her on her knees. Does that sound to you like the temperament of a man we should elect as president? And how will you answer the charge from Hillary Clinton, who is likely to be the Democratic nominee, that you are part of the war on women?
I think the big problem this country has is being politically correct. I've been challenged by so many people, and I don't frankly have time for total political correctness.
Fat pigs, slobs, dogs, disgusting animals, while the MAGA crowd that hadn't yet become the MAGA crowd wailed with delight, squealed like the little piggies that they are, pleased as punch that he was being as crude and rude and disgusting as he could be on live national, scratch that, international television. When someone asks you, what did Hillary mean when she called them a basket of deplorables? Remember this moment. Slobs, calling women slobs, fat pigs, and disgusting animals. She was right to ask the question. And his, I just have no time for political correctness. Translated, that means I don't have time to be a decent person. I'm too busy being a prick to be a decent person to others, to show them dignity and respect. That's what he means. It didn't end there, though. The humiliation of Megyn Kelly continued when Donald Trump, remember, went on with Don Lemon on CNN and said, she must have been on her period. She must have been a hysterical, emotional woman, another one of the slobs. And that's why she asked me those questions. Watch this.
Megyn Kelly, because you brought her up. She did push you, pushed a lot of people, but what is it with you and Megyn Kelly?
Well, I just don't respect her as a journalist. I have no respect for her. I don't think she's very good. I think she's highly overrated. But when I came out there, what am I doing? I'm not getting paid for this. I go out there and, they start saying, lift up arm if you're going to, I didn't know there'd be 24 million people. I figured, but I knew it was going to be a big crowd because I get big crowds. I get ratings. They call me the ratings machine. So I have, she gets out and she starts asking me all sorts of ridiculous questions. And, you could see there was blood coming out of her eyes, blood coming out of her wherever. But she was, in my opinion, she was off base.
I don't respect her, he said. I have no respect for her to ask me these ridiculous questions. asking about your previous documented treatment of women, and you want to be president of the United States to govern more than half the population of the country is not a ridiculous question. We knew it at the time. We know it now. Megyn Kelly knew at the time, and she knows it now, but she's been sucked in by the tractor beam of the grift. She's building a YouTube presence with her Carrie Lake filter, apparently terrified to age like a normal person. Apparently terrified to be anywhere but under the boot of Donald Trump, lapping at his boots like it's a tasty treat. She's another sycophant. And you know that she knows. She's demonstrated that she knows. But there's money to be made being an anti-COVID vaccine grifter. There's money to be made sniffing at the butthole of Donald Trump. There's not enough money in the world to pay me to debase myself like these grifters do on a daily basis. What do you think? I'd love to know. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Absolutely, as always, you can email me the old-fashioned way, daily@dollemore.com. Thanks for joining me today. I appreciate you very much. Follow me on social media if that's your thing. I'm at Dollemore just about everywhere. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Threads. Everywhere there's social media, it's very likely that I'm at Dollemore. If you want to take our relationship to the next level, and you want to help support my work, produce my work right here, click the join button below. Become a channel member for as little as $1.99 a month. Click that super thanks button or go over to patreon.com/IDoubtIt I love you guys. I appreciate you. It's only because of you that I'm able to do this. I am one of the luckiest people in the world. Trust me, I very much have that insight every day. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine and please take care of one another.